So what we have here is a new Voodoo Envy. This is a very thin notebook, as you can tell. It's just a little over ½ an inch thin. And you know the thing about this notebook is it's made out of all carbon fiber. So the entire chassis is made of carbon fiber. So the standard finish would be this carbon fiber weave that you see here. And you might not be able to see it in the camera, but basically there's like this natural carbon fiber weave in this finish. And we had a lot of challenges building this, because when you're building a notebook this thin, you can't do things like have a removable battery typically. But because we use carbon fiber, we're able to put a removable battery in the system. Carbon fiber is very stiff, and it allows us to do things like have a removable battery. You'll also notice on this notebook we have 2 USB ports, and this USB port is a little bit extended. The reason it's extended is because it's also an eSATA port. So you can actually have eSATA devices powered by the USB hooked up to this port. We also have an express card slot on this system. And then we also have an HDMI port and an audio port. And the most cool thing about this notebook is the thermals. We have a very aggressive thermal management system in this. So it basically takes in air here and it outputs air on both sides of the system. And the purpose of that thermal management system is it allows us to plan for the future. Because we believe that later this year there's going to be a huge line blur between integrated graphics and discrete graphics in the notebook space. Can't say why exactly, but I can just tell you that graphics are getting faster. That's all I can tell you. When you open the notebook up, it's made out of it's got a flush glass display, as you can see here. We have a video camera here, and we have a high-end keyboard. I mean, most notebooks have like this cheap keyboard, and it's got a very non-tactile feel. This keyboard is like it's got like that old school IBM feel, like the very, very tactile, you know, a nice feedback to it. And it's also a backlit keyboard. And then it has this flush touchpad here. So this touchpad is a multi-touch touchpad. It's flush with the system. It's beautiful. I mean, it really looks nice in person. The notebook also has 2 like microphones here, so a spatial microphone and a ambient light sensor. The next thing about this notebook is because it's so thin, you typically can't have an Ethernet port on a notebook like this, right? So, you know, you'd have a dongle or something typically. But we know that customers tend to forget their dongles at home sometimes, but nobody forgets their power brick at home, right? So what we decided to do is put the Ethernet in the power brick. So this is another one of our innovations. It's a patent of ours, and basically we put the Ethernet in what we call the Voodoo Aura Power Connect. This is a new power brick for this notebook, okay? Another thing about the new Voodoo Envy is the boot up time. So, first of all, guys, this is our innovation, right? This notebook we designed from the ground up with Intel. We worked very closely with Intel because Intel made it possible to create a notebook this thin. They created a sort of an off-roadmap chip that allowed us to create a notebook thin. It's got a 20-watt part in it, so it's a very low-voltage part. But at the same time, performance was key to us. So we want the system to boot up very quickly. And so we actually did a few cool things with this system. So here's the black unit. I'm going to power this one on, and you'll see right now it just turned on. Okay. Now normally when you go through a system like this, they go through memory tests and hard drive sizes and all that stuff. But you'll notice here it's actually on now. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but the system, you know, as soon as I pressed the power button, it basically turned itself on. And so now you've got access to both Windows here. You've got access to Windows here and also Linux. So we can launch a Linux-based browser. We can launch Skype. We can launch a chat system. So you can use Pigeon, which basically allows you to use any sort of chat client. We've got music and pictures. So for example, if you go into Skype and you hit enter, this notebook will boot in under 5 seconds, and in a low voltage, on a low power mode. So this system, in under 5 seconds, you'll be in the OS, and you can start using it right away. So you're already in the OS now, as you can see, and you can start using it as a quick boot OS. The purpose of this is not to do anything to unseat the Vista that we have on the system, but it's to give customers quick access to the information they need, quick access to a browser, and at the same time, after you're done with this, you can also go into Windows and use Vista on the machine as well. So we have Vista Service Pack 1, and we're actually quite happy with Service Pack 1 and the direction that it's going at this point. So that's the new Envy in a nutshell. We also have a lot of accessories that we're going to be coming out for this notebook. And again, This is like the first to the new Voodoo portfolio. It's the first of many products that we'll be launching. The Voodoo Omen, which you'll see in the other room, is a new desktop system, and as I said, that's available by invitation only. Can't show it on video yet, but you'll be able to see the video and the photos and everything online once we launch.
Raul, the carbon fiber, limited quantity run. This doesn't sound cheap. What kind of prices are we going to be looking at?
Yeah, it's not. Obviously it's not designed to be like a sort of a mainstream notebook, but the price is actually pretty reasonable for a Voodoo. It's actually $2,099, and that's complete with everything. And we're getting really good feedback on that price point for a Voodoo product. If this were a Voodoo independent of HP, it'd be $5,000 because the cost of producing this notebook is really heavy. But HP scale allowed us to bring it down to that level. So $2,099.